What is an important piece of advice you can give for those moving into the real world? Just because you have the money to buy something doesn't mean that you can afford it. I think quote that was said in different subreddit fits here: if you can afford something just barely you can't afford it. Some rapper once said, if you can't afford 3 of those, you can't afford one. The intensity of your social life will likely change, and this is mostly a good thing, but be prepared for it. Being outside of school means you are free from a lot of the weird drama that comes with doing everything in a closed system with roughly the same people. There is still drama, but you can almost always escape it because your life is divided now. You don't live with all your friends and work with them. On the other hand, making new social connections is a new challenge because you aren't thrown into a closed system with people all at your stage of life with many of the same problems. But making friends definitely happens. For me, wherever I was in life, it always took me about 1 year to make one new close friend. Patience is key. I would say you make fewer social connections, but a lot of them are of higher quality. A last piece of advice: don't view work as your only source, or even your primary source, for friends, dates, and hookups. Try to keep part of your social life separate. College is the last time in life where everyone you know your age is roughly doing the same thing and experiencing the same challenges. From here on out, everyone's paths will differ, and that's okay. Some of your friends will get married or have children. Some won't. Work experiences and careers will be vastly different. You stop moving in lockstep with your peers. Be very careful of being dragged into any sort of workplace drama, politics. That friendly coworker who is dishing you all the dirt as you learn the ropes is looking for allies. You have no obligation to hang out with these people in a social setting. Have a budget and stick to it. Know the difference between wanting something and needing something. Don't forget to add a treat yourself line in the budget. Don't focus on what other people have, do. Stay in your lane and focused on you and yours. Get a cast iron skillet. Never stop learning. Keep up with your old hobbies and interests, and pick up new ones. Takes classes, free ones, and pay for those you can afford. Join groups for people with your interests so you can learn from them and learn from teaching them. I think it's just as important to avoid complacency. It is incredibly addictive, and if you're not someone who has a surplus of self-discipline, reversing the bad habit is going to be hard. Letting yourself having lazy days is fine and healthy, but keep yourself in check, they can quickly become the norm. Look after your teeth because they are expensive to fix. Toothpaste, a good toothbrush and dental floss are cheap, so use them well. Look after your credit rating, it is difficult to fix when it goes wrong, and also remember that things do go wrong, so perhaps have a small contingency available if you can. Learn to save and budget so you know how much you can use and save comfortably. Be good to yourself and look after mental health. Look after your teeth even if you think they're fine, they might not be. At 39 I'm paying the price. Never had any real problems. But proper dental care was never instilled in me, and by the time I realized that it was a hard habit to break or make. And it's gradual. Really think about your mouth situation. I didn't realize how bad mine had gotten until I started getting better. You're not supposed to bleed. Your teeth should not be loose, like at all. Hot and cold shouldn't bother you. You should be able to eat anything you want. I didn't realize how much I had compromised until I really started to actively think about it. Brush twice a day and floss once a day. It's okay to miss a day here and there, but it needs to happen. Dentist at least once a year. Twice is better. Even though money goes in and out of your account automatically doesn't mean you never have to look at your bank account. Just a quick daily check of your balance and spendings will keep you out of a lot of troubles. This is an excellent tip. Money management feels completely different when it's an actual number and not an estimate in your head. It's okay to say no, it's just a job, there will be others. Don't try fitting in if it requires you to break your personal values. Being respectful and polite is cool. When furnishing your home with stuff you find on the side of the road, it's fine to take hard things, tables, art, etc., but never pick up soft things, upholstered chairs, carpets. Even with hard things you have to be careful. Lots of places critters can hide even in tables. Don't just react to things. Think critically. Take a few seconds to analyze situations and come up with conclusions. Always be self-aware and never let people use your emotions against you. If you're unhappy with your job, put tons of effort into finding a new one ASAP. Also learn to recognize toxic work environments. I once saw a guy quit his job in under 4 hours, just noped right out. A few years back I saw a dude quit immediately after a bad meeting. It was about 10 tech people in meeting. Boss outlines vision of new product. Tech dude explains why this is not a good idea. Boss has a rant about how he can't have negative people on the team and maybe tech dude needs to step out of the meeting while they finish up. Tech dude leaves room, goes to his desk and writes resignation. Boss was surprised, why you quitting? Tech dude, you don't want my input, you don't respect my views. The real world is actually really small. Be careful of burning bridges because you'd be surprised how easy it is to run into someone years and years after you last saw them. When I was in uni I was super stressed. People would always say to me, if you're this stressed now, wait until you get out into the real world. I've been out in the real world for 2 decades now and it's been so much easier than uni. Go out there and enjoy post-uni life. If you're this stressed now, wait until you get out into the real world. This, by the way, is one of the worst things you can say. If someone is convinced that their situation will never get better, they'll look for other ways out. Legal and illegal are not the same as right and wrong. Don't expect things to work out in your favor just because you did the right thing. There is no invisible hand that punishes the bad and rewards the good. A long commute is rarely worth it. Don't waste your time worrying if you can help it. It just drags you down and makes you weaker. Hit the gym when you can, boy will it make you feel better. And smile. Make a conscious effort to smiling more. It'll be reciprocated and it will make you feel good. Apply the 10th of October 10 rule. Will it matter in 10 minutes? Will it matter in 10 days? Will it matter in 10 years? Really helps put a problem into perspective. Everyone makes mistakes. There is no real point in constantly trying to avoid novel mistakes. Instead, accept that you are human, and instead make sure to learn from your mistakes when they happen. This isn't a mistake, it's a happy little accident. Bob Ross. Familiarize yourself with your region's Landlord-Tenancy Act, know your right and what's expected of you in terms of rent and damage, security deposits. Step 0. Find a place that has reasonable and human landlords, talk to current tenants, read reviews etc. Step 1. The above comment. Step 2. Be a stellar tenant. No one complains about you. You try to work things out with neighbors before complaints about them, rent always on time, etc. Step 3. Create a positive relationship with the landlords. Step 2 is important but also be friendly and nice. Having the landlord on your side is extremely valuable. They often have the discretion to force you to do things per the contract that you wouldn't prefer. Having them understand you and sometimes bend the rules for you is extremely powerful. You don't have to know how to do everything. Knowing how to learn, and being willing to put the effort into learning it, is more important than knowing any one skill. Your attitude is more important than aptitude. An employer can teach you the specific skills needed, but if you aren't a person that people want to be around, then why would they bother? Always negotiate before signing any contract. A contract should be an agreement between the parties, not just a means for someone to have the upper hand. Don't forget to take care of your physical health. Often people get so caught up in life they forget all about working out, eating right. Most of us end up in sedentary jobs. You don't need to train like an Olympic athlete. Just being active 3 times a week or something is good enough. Maybe picking up a new sport can help you make new friends while you stay fit. No job is going to last forever. Try to switch jobs between 3 to 5 years, and never take a raise based on the fact that they know you're looking elsewhere. The only exception is if you really like where you're at. You don't want to get complacent by staying at one place and not getting experience in multiple sectors of your industry. Family and friends will try to give their input on what you should do with your life. Don't take it. March to your drum. Do what your gut tells you, and don't compromise on your values. Regardless of what you may have been told, you don't have to get along with everyone. Whether it's pheromones, or something else unspoken, some people just don't get along, and there's no reason for it. Be punctual, like 15 minutes early punctual. If your boss says to stay late, only stay late if you want to, and if you're getting paid for it. Salary isn't always better than hourly. Freelance isn't evil anymore. It's 2020, and not 1950. Don't listen to people who tell you to walk into a job to apply. Dating is okay. Going on dates with multiple people isn't a shameful thing, because you're not compromising on what you want, and figuring out what you do want. If you have a backpack or briefcase, carry a travel hygiene kit with you. The world will thank you. Get regular haircuts and take care of your skin. If you're a dude, and people tell you to stop taking care of their skin, tell them that they can worry about their own body. Go to them gym once a week minimum. Eat healthy now in order to create good practices later. You'll likely encounter pressure from people to eat a lot more than your body needs while you're out at a restaurant. Control your portions and you can enjoy tasty foods. Save your money, but put some aside for fun experiences. Work harder than everyone else. It's okay to not have everything figured out. You'll meet a ton of people in the real world that will try to convince you that they have everything figured out. The majority of them are just as scared and lost as you are, because that's the human condition. Learn to think for yourself. All of your life your parents taught and promoted their views on life, politics, religion, etc., and probably also told you how wrong the other viewpoints are. Now is the time to go. How do I feel? What do I think? Go on the internet and learn some good basic skills. 1. How to do laundry properly. Your clothes will last a lot longer. 2. How to make a bed properly. Stop waking up with the fitted sheet hugging you and not the mattress, and a made bed makes the whole room look neater. 3. Learn how to make an omelette, preferably a French omelette. Eggs are cheap and healthy, and this is a relatively quick meal you can make for yourself and even someone coming over and impress them a bit. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. And if you make a meal plan for the week, you'll save a lot on wasted groceries and have a better chance of making nutritious choices. And wear sunscreen every day, even the cloudy ones. Your employer is usually a neutral party at best. Rare exceptions to this exist, but as a rule your boss is not your friend and does not have your best interests at heart. They have you there to make money off of your labor, no more and no less. This is a business arrangement. Learn to automatically see this as the default. You need to look out for your own interests. Get a better offer elsewhere? Don't think for a second you owe loyalty to your boss. They'd replace you in a heartbeat if you keeled over at your desk. Similarly, mental health days are sick days. Don't trick yourself into believing that you're letting the team down because you need to take care of yourself. No one else at your job is going to take care of you. At best they will do the bare minimum to meet legal requirements. There are exceptions to the above, and sometimes the right people or management can earn your loyalty. Just remember that you come first. Not customers, not coworkers, not managers. Do the job, get paid, go home. Never believe that you have to sacrifice your physical or mental well-being for a job. They don't pay you enough for that. Ever. Plan for your long-term goals, but don't forget your short-term health and happiness. Sacrificing sounds noble, and can help sometimes, in limited circumstances, but your performance will be degraded if you don't take care of your physical and mental health along the way. This will cascade and affect your long-term goals as well. Half the job is just being there. Take opportunities to volunteer, join a service club. Work will often pay for a few hours of volunteering and they will be lenient. Related, I was reading a workforce unemployment decision where dude was having attendance problems due to continuing education. Court said it wasn't an excuse to deny unemployment. Put thought into lunch and dinner. It is so easy to go out and eat every day for lunch and easy to grab something on home instead of cooking. Zoom out for a big perspective once in a while. Evaluate your life periodically. We are creatures of habit. If you have roommates and live like slobs, you won't really notice that day in and day out. Every once in a while, maybe every 2 months, really look around. What's your life like? Do you have a significant other? Do you want one? Are your habits leading to that or preventing it? Do you come home and watch TV or video game or read endlessly and are completely one-dimensional? When's the last time you spent time with your mom and dad, family or longtime friends? Try to balance stuff. Decide what matters. Make small changes so you don't go through life on autopilot. Variety is the spice of life. Sometimes hanging out with family you haven't seen in a long time is the last time you see them. Maybe they're moving and you volunteer to help and then they give you $793 worth of fishing gear they were gonna just throw out and you're like, okay thanks. Then you give that to your dad and he's happier than he's been in years.